Good to know. Oh dear, we have our goddess up above who will be speaking to me at times, I'm sure. And all right, so anyway, welcome all of you today to Unity in the Gold Country. My name is Sandy Spurgeon, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm your platform assistant today. And we are welcoming Reverend Lani Howard today as our guest speaker. We're so excited about that. And of course, we have our lovely Kalyani who's going to grace us with her beautiful music. Yay. So I don't know about you, but I am so grateful this morning, grateful for the rain, grateful how beautiful it smelled when I walked out my door this morning to see all my plants and trees happy, and it made me happy and smile too. So we are grateful for the rain, and grateful that it also helps with clearing the air and hopefully helps with any fire containment that is still needing to be contained. All right, so thank you God for that. So we're going to start our service with the lighting of the Christ candle. In the beginning was the one presence of the undivided and unmanifest pure spirit of life, light, and love. In its generosity, it shared itself, its consciousness, and its love in the visible form of creation. We acknowledge this presence within us and as us, the creative energy of the divine feminine and masculine expressing in all our giftedness and creativity. We acknowledge this presence in our companion, Mother Earth, and in all sentient beings, this universal presence in everything we call the Christ. We light this candle as a visible reminder of the Christ presence expressing in, as, and through us in this present now moment. It is the truth. Let us own it. And now we have our opening song with Kalyani.
Good morning, everyone. You can stand and we'll roll this out here. I am free, I am free, I am unlimited. There's a PowerPoint, okay. I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I'm free, I am unlimited right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I'm free, I am unlimited right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited right now, right now, right now. Oh, where'd those shakers go? We have the shakers. Good job.
Good morning again. Let's take a deep breath together. I'd like to do our invocation in the form of a poem this morning from Dana Falls. And you may have heard this before, but poetry is like every time you hear it, there's something new that you can glean from it. There is no controlling life. Try corralling a lightning bolt containing a tornado. Dam a stream, and it will create a new channel. Resist, and the tide will sweep you off your feet. Allow, and grace will carry you to higher ground. The only safety lies in letting it all in. The wild and the weak, fear, fantasies, failures, and success. When loss rips the doors off of the heart, or sadness veils your vision with despair, practice simply becomes bearing the truth. In the choice to let go of your known way of being, the whole world is revealed to your new eyes. I remember a wise quote that said, "Changing is not about seeing new vistas, it's about having new eyes." And so that's what we do here, is we open to that greater vision, to those new eyes. So let us embrace our community in prayer. I have a prayer list here, and we probably have it up on the, okay. So we're praying today for Casey Kress, for Amy Rutherford, Linda Bauer, Nathan Michael Brown, RIP, rest in peace and family, Bob Castro, Dale Frank, Andy Homan and his family for a peaceful transition, Charlie and Will McBride, all those affected by the fires and by flooding and hurricanes, the firefighters, first responders, and their family. I would also like to include all of the people seeking asylum at the border today, all of those 14,000 Haitians under the bridge. We also have Denise Mazzetti and family, special intention for a young family, John and Claudia Martin, Dennis and Penny Matthews, Michael Green, Kayla, Paxton Baker, Dane DeGrasse, Claire Koziris, Richard, Jim, Mike, Orion, and family, and John Miller. And now we have our prayer that we will say together. There is only one presence and one power, active as the universe and as our lives, the all-loving goodness of God, and all is well.
The daily word for today is free. Living from my divine nature frees me. Sometimes I feel limited when I don't think I have enough time, money, space, education, or experience. These thoughts can occupy so much space in my mind that I begin to think limitation is the truth of life. The greater truth is that I am free and unlimited in spirit. Alive in God, I am free to express all the love, wisdom, and strength of the divine as only I can. What joy and liberation it is to know that nothing can separate me from my true spiritual nature. If I believe any circumstance in my life or any of my past actions obstruct or delay my spiritual progress, I now release that belief, embracing and living from the divine presence, the Christ within me. I claim freedom, from all limitation. Living from my divine nature frees me. If you'd like to repeat that with me, living from my divine nature frees me. And so it is. So now we'll move into our meditation. So just make yourself comfortable in your seats here in the sanctuary, or if you're joining us at home, sit comfortably with your feet on the ground if you're so able. And then just turning your attention inward, bring your attention to your breath. And when you're ready, you can close your eyes if you choose. Notice the rhythm of your breath. Observe the gentle rise and fall of your belly, your chest, with each inhale and exhale. Our breath is constant and reliable. It sustains life every second, every minute, without having to think about it. It allows us to quiet the mind and bring our focus to the present moment. So if your mind wanders, it's okay. Just bring your attention back to your breath. With each inhale, move deeper into the energy of life itself. With each exhale, release, let go, and make room for the new breath. Just maintain your own pace with your breath, your own rhythm. Let each inhale and exhale be an invitation to align more deeply with spirit. And as you follow your breath, allow a sensation of deep inner peace to arise within you. Rest in this boundless peace, this boundless space of inner peace, where there is no beginning and no end. Let this experience of inner peace nurture you, soothe and comfort you, and allow all outside influences, appearance of chaos and emotional discord in the world to melt away in this place of peace, inner peace. It melts away in this moment, this now moment. Body, mind, and spirit align as one. Now imagine an aura of deep inner peace radiating from you in all directions, illuminating the space around you. Expanding, growing, filling the room. By your intention, extend this peace out into the world as a blessing to all beings on this earth plane and beyond. Silently affirm, I am peaceful. I am peaceful. I am peace itself. And so it is. Gently begin to bring yourself back into this space. You may open your eyes when you're ready. Move your hands and feet if you like. And then we prepare for our next song, Oh Love, Prepare Me.
Oh, love, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and in thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Oh, love, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and in thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Oh, love, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and in thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
If I can get this up a little higher. Not too high, because then I couldn't see it at all. All right. What we know is the biblical proverb tells us, where there is no vision, the people perish. Now, the unity vision of the organization of unity is advancing the global movement of spiritual awakening and transformation through unity. And here, at the Unity in the Gold Country, there's a mission to awaken in love, in unity with all. To awaken in love, in unity with all. And the unity values are expressed as inclusiveness, inspiration, innovation, creativity, community, and service. So these are the values of the organization that you're a part of. And these are the things that we aspire to be. There is an Ernest Holmes quote. There is a place in your mind where it merges with the divine. There is a secret place of the Most High within everyone, and we should seek to discover this secret place. There is a power greater than we are, and we should learn how to use it. So one of the things that reminds me of that is the symbol of the cross. So the cross has a vertical and a horizontal bar. This is a very ancient symbol, much older than Christianity. The horizontal bar represents the conditioned reality, that reality that is within time and space. The vertical represents that which is outside of time and space. That is that infinite now, the infinite presence. And we are the place where the vertical and the horizontal come together. We are that. So part of what our role is to expand the horizontal by connecting to the vertical. That means that we have to grow. Now, there is a reason why the word ow is in the middle of growth. Because it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable. So I would just invite you to cross your arms. And now I'd like you to switch which arm is on top. Okay, you have to think about it, right? When you cross your arms, you just sort of do it by habit. But when you have to reverse it, you have to think, okay, I have to think about this now. I have to break a habit. I have to expand my possibilities, my capabilities. So change calls us to do something differently. And we may not know how to do it. We may not know what it means or if it's safe. Our ego is always trying to make us safe. That's what it's here for. It's to give us a conception of how do we deal with reality. But the problem is when reality changes, it freaks out. It doesn't know what to do. So we have to remember that we have a greater power than that wonderful protective ego. So I would like to suggest an approach we can take when we're expanding our comfort zone. And haven't we been called to do that a lot this year? With the pandemic, with the fires, with the drought, we are learning to expand what we can be comfortable with. So the first thing is to acknowledge our discomfort. See, this does not feel good. I don't want to wear a mask. And it's a thing I need to do now for my safety of my community. So we have to remember that we have changed in the past. We've done scary things in the past. This is scary, changing. And so we have to remember we have overcome our fear in the past and accomplished something by moving through that fear and accommodating ourselves to the growth that wanted to happen. For instance, when I was called to this pulpit here in Grass Valley, my partner of 35 years had just passed away. And it had been rather sudden. He'd been diagnosed in January and passed away in March. And so I was like, I just felt that I was dying too. And I thought, okay, well, I'm dying to this life. I must be ready for a new life. So I applied to this open position at a pulpit in Grass Valley. And I got it. But it meant that I had to rent out the condominium I was living in, and I had to pack up everything, and I had to find a place to live, and I had to move, and I had to do all these things. And then I had to do a job I'd never done before. And I had to live in the snow for the first time because I'd lived in the Bay Area my whole life. So it's like, oh my God, scary. And moving through that fear, stepping into that greater calling, that new life that was calling me, enabled me to experience more joy and more fulfillment than I could ever have imagined. God always has a better idea. God always has a better idea. So the second thing that we could do after we've acknowledged, yeah, I have to do something and it's not feeling comfortable and it's scary, and we have to remember when we have fear, what's the antidote to fear? Faith, right? Faith that we can do it. We have a power to do it. We have a community that helps us. We have friends, family, spiritual community, pets, all kinds of support. And we need to know that that is available to us, that we can call on others. When we're feeling fearful, we can find support. And that's really critical, is knowing part of community. We're part of community. So another thing is, there's a wonderful little book called Prescription for Joy, 365 Gratitude Affirmations. And one of these gratitude affirmations reads, I am grateful that I willingly notice any unease and use it as a wake-up call for creative action. Where? Oh, okay. I'm noticing it and I'm using it as a wake-up call for creative action, because as a result, I feel more powerful and control because I'm connecting with the vertical. When I was doing a service recently for a person in our congregation who had passed away, one of the members who attended mentioned that he had lost his home in the river fire. So afterwards, when we were visiting, I expressed my condolences for him losing his home. And he said, well, my wife and I were thinking of downsizing. So now the decision is made and we are getting the, insurance money and moving to a new home. And it was like he was just saying, okay, done, moving on. Now, that is amazing. That really is great. But it takes courage. And the word courage comes from the French word heart, cœur. So courage is about heart. It's about love. It's about loving life and knowing that there is something more. If something has come to an end, there is something else. So it's looking for that creative action beyond the challenge and to not get caught up in the challenge. Now, right now, we are facing climate change. We see it in the fires, the drought, the floods, the hurricanes. All of these extreme weather patterns are absolutely indicative of what has been predicted from climate change. In the year 1980, we had 300 extreme weather events worldwide. In 2016, we had 800. I don't know what it is today, but I don't think it's going down. So awareness is always the first step in healing, and we can't solve climate change in one fell swoop. There is no silver bullet. There is no magic wand. There is only knowing that it is. You have to deal with what is, and what is this is happening, and perhaps there is something I can do. Perhaps there is something I can do about the way I live, the cars I drive, the forms of energy I use, the way I use my energy. There's all kinds of things we could think of that might be helpful, and we all can take also political action where we can ask the fossil fuel companies perhaps to not be leaking so much methane in what they do. So, there's things that we can do. And one of the things that gives me hope is this little book called Drawdown. And this is about the most comprehensive plan ever proposed to reverse global warming, and it's the 100 top solutions to global warming, and it is not anything new. It's all technologies we already have. We just need to do more of them. So you could look at the web and see what it says, but I mean, it has things like, one of the top things we can do is educating girls, is helping global warming, because educated girls usually have fewer children. And they also have the wherewithal to contribute to the solutions that we need to solve this climate crisis. They also have in there things that we can do locally. For instance, we have a local organization called Tree Sisters, and they promote planting trees in tropical zones, and they pay women in these zones to plant the trees, because those trees grow faster and they sequester the carbon faster than the trees that we have. Because the trees that we have, when we plant them, initially they're going to give off more carbon than they take in. So, but in the tropical zone, so there's an organization right here, the Tree Sisters, and so I contribute to them so that we can get those trees planted and that sequestration going. And we also just got a $30 million grant for Firewise councils. So if you are part of a Firewise council, some of the projects you've been hoping to do, you now have the funding to do it. And that's great. So things are happening. I also went to a presentation earlier this week by Sierra Streams, and they are working on mitigation of climate change for the Wolf Creek watershed. Excuse me. Breathing smoke all summer has taken its toll. Anyway, so Sierra Streams is also another organization that we can volunteer at or support in some way. And they're putting out videos about this watershed mitigation that are very helpful. So, and one more thing that's happening is food waste. One of the things on this list is reducing food waste. And I see that Waste Management is going to start collecting all that food waste, you know, the things that we couldn't recycle before, like napkins with, you know, paper napkins with food on them, or boxes with food on them, or all that kind of stuff. They're going to recycle all of that. So that's great, composting. So the third thing that we can do about expanding this horizontal, expanding our comfort zone, bringing more of the vertical into the horizontal, bringing more of that peace, more of that love, more of that good into the horizontal, is to be willing, not willful. We have to take a higher view. We have to learn to respond rather than react. Because we have these habits, somebody says something, presses the button, and we go off. Right? We respond, we don't respond, we react. But if we take a breath and connect to our heart, and connect to the heart of the other individual, and connect to the vertical, we can respond in a way that brings more of that vertical into the horizontal. For instance, in the Caldor fire, they had a military plane at 18,000 feet that was looking for heat signatures in the midst of the cloud, because the spotter planes couldn't see anything because the smoke was so thick. But the plane at 18,000 feet looking for heat signatures could see the spots, and it could let the people on the ground know that's where the hot spots are, so they could focus their energies on places where it was most effective. So we have to do the same thing. We have to elevate into that vertical so we can see the solution. Now, the thing is, a lot of us are getting up there in age, and we might be thinking, well, this isn't really going to affect me because I'm going to be out of here pretty soon. Well, guess what? That doesn't let you off the hook. The 16th century priest Martin Luther said, "Even if I knew that tomorrow the world would go to pieces, I would still plant my apple tree." A recent study of young people found that 58% of them think humanity is doomed. That thinking has to shift to see that there are things we all can do. The world that is coming is different than the world that is, and it always has been. Things change, things change, things change. And we are the co-creators of this world. What we're seeing now everywhere is a result of our past thinking or not thinking, right? So everything starts with thought. So what ours is to do now is to have those positive thoughts about the world that we want to see, the world that works for everyone, to really get it in our mind what that looks like, what it feels like what we can experience in this world that works for all. Bringing all of those values that we say we appreciate and embrace into realization first in our own lives. There is a little story. A man tried to change the world. He was unsuccessful. So he tried to change his country. He was unsuccessful. So he tried to change his community. He was unsuccessful. So he tried to change his street. Again, he was unsuccessful. So he tried to change his family. Still, he was unsuccessful. So he tried to change himself. And he was successful. And that changed his family. And his family changed the street. And the street changed the community. And the community changed the country. And the country changed the world. I would like to end with the prayer called the Lord's Prayer, or Our Father. But that was a prayer that was said in Aramaic, translated to Greek, and then translated to Latin, and then translated to English. I don't know if you've ever played telephone, but you know how much can get lost in translation. So and Aramaic is a language sort of like Hawaiian, where one word can have many different meanings depending on the context and the inflection that you use. So aloha could mean love, it could mean hello, it could be goodbye. The same thing is true with Aramaic. So this is one version of that Aramaic prayer. O cosmic birther of all radiance and vibration, soften the ground of our being and carve out a space within us where your presence can abide. Let your counsel rule our lives, clearing our intention for co-creation. Let each of our actions bear fruit in accordance with your desire. Endow us with the wisdom to produce and share what each being needs to grow and flourish. Untie the tangled threads of destiny that bind us as we release others from the entanglement of past mistakes. Do not let us be seduced by that which would divert us from our true purpose, but free us from what holds us back. For you are the ground and the fruitful vision, the birth power and fulfillment, as all is gathered and made whole once again. I seal this prayer in faith and trust. And so it is. Amen. Let's take a breath. It's time for our power statement. Understanding divine order, I can embrace paradox and navigate chaos while keeping my balance. Yes, so true. All right, and now is the time for us to practice the law of circulation. So we give because we've received, and so we have a basket here up front, and there's a basket in the back. So I just invite you to bring out your tithes and offerings so that we can say this love offering prayer together. Okay. My heart is open to receive and grateful for all my good. I give fearlessly and with love. And so it is. And now we have some special music from Kalyani.
Thank you, Reverend Lani. I really appreciate that that story of the man who takes responsibility and comes back to himself, because really there's no other way. My mom passed. She made her relatively peaceful transition last Sunday, and she had been living with us for a year and a half, and I had a lot of the triggers, obviously, like thinking my way was the best way, and she had her own journey. She had her own way of doing it, so and even just a couple of days before she passed, I was going through one of those triggers. I just couldn't I couldn't handle it because I wasn't in my heart. I'm getting clamped. Anyway, so I had a session with Tom and my partner, and he got me to kind of look at that. Well, what do I need? What do I need? And I need to be in my heart. So I wrote down when I actually made it back there. It took a while to get back there. And then I wrote, I'm in retreat, my mother, myself, an intention of connection. I love you. I pick up a cup. I love you. I wash a spoon. I love you. I feel a pain in my heart. I love you. I just couldn't be anywhere else but that space because it was torture at that point in time. So I went out in the garden and I was watering, and then I started singing, and I started singing this song, which is surprisingly has a kind of a Native American feel to it. With every breath, with every step I take, I love you, yes I love you, yes I do. With every breath, with every step I take, I love you, yes I love you, yes I do. I love you, yes I love you, yes I do. In every word, all that is heard is I love you, yes I love you, yes I do. I love you, yes I love you, yes I do. I close my eyes and I hold my heart. Slow everything down. Focus my mind in a loving space. I love you never stops. With every breath, with every step I take, I love you, yes I love you, yes I do. With every breath, with every step I take, I love you, yes I love you, yes I do. I love you, yes I love you, yes I do. In every word, all that is heard is I love you, yes I love you, yes I do. In every word, all that is heard is I love you, yes I love you, yes I do. I love you, yes I love you, yes I do. Open my eyes to another, honoring all I see, and all of the colors reflecting all life is made in me. With every breath, with every step I take, I love you, yes I love you, yes I do. In every sound all around, I love you, yes I love you, yes I do. In present time is where I find I love you, yes I love you, yes I do. I love you, yes I love you, yes I do. I love you, yes I love you, yes I do. I love you, I love you. Thank you.
So, thank you, Kalyani. That was beautiful. So I'd like to ask you all to join with me in just blessing Kalyani, if you would. So, Kalyani, we love you and we bless you, and we see and acknowledge and love the Christ light within you, and all is well. Know that we are here with you as a community of love. Amen. Thank you all. So we move on to announcements. So 2021 is a year of renewal, transformation, awakening, healing, and wonder. Yay, 2021. All right, so we have a lot of things happening. The 7-week fall program is going to start. We're repeating one of the most popular books that we've read over the years, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. It's a wonderful, wonderful book. It starts on Sunday, October 3rd, with Zoom groups to be scheduled. And you can go to the website to get more information on that. And there are printed booklets on the front desk for you to pick up. They're booklets that will go along with the book itself in the book study. Inspiring Women, their meetings are now on hold due to COVID, and they will resume when the numbers of the COVID cases gets better. And I understand that we're on our way doing that now, so we will affirm that. And we have, this is pretty funny, volunteers are needed. And then the pastor said, we just need you to do this job until we find someone else. Yeah, very true. We do love our volunteers, and we really could use your help in various ways, and you can just contact Leslie if you're interested in volunteering. The Way of Mastery group began again last Monday. There's a group at 1 p.m. in the afternoon and 6:45 in the evening. And you can see the weekly Zoom links in tomorrow morning's email. And the books arrived in the bookstore. And we have a special spiritual exploration Tuesday at 10. This Tuesday, Claire Palmerino, what happened to my, excuse me, Claire. Claire, our lovely Claire, will be doing the class. Can we really converse with our guides and angels? Can we communicate with our higher self? Let's find out together. Claire will incorporate teachings from Suzanne Geisman, Sonia Croquette, and Michael Sandler. I'm really having a difficulty with names today, so excuse me. The Zoom link also is available in the e-bulletin. Wildlife Rehabilitation and Release. This is our change for change. If you happen to have change in your pocket, in your purse today, just drop the change in the basket, and that will go to the Wildlife Rehabilitation and Release program. It's timely during this time of wildfires. Our Change for Change recipient for September works, they've been in existence for over 35 years, and they provide a valuable service by caring for injured and orphaned wildlife in Nevada County and surrounded areas. And then adopt a planter bed or area. Look how much fun Carly is having in this picture here, tending for an adopted flower bed. You too can adopt your own area. Come by when it suits you. Call Leslie to work out the details. And I think that is the end of the announcements for today. So as we come together to close, we can stand and say our prayer of protection. Okay. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. Presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, because I am. All is well. And now our final song, I Choose Love.
Growing because I choose love. Love is always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are part of each other.
Thank you, thank you. Amen to that. And I do want to just give one shout out, thank you for Daryl and Leslie up in the balcony. Daryl, thank you so much for fixing the sound. Amen. We love you.
And for you, thank you for doing the.
Thank you.
Blessings all. All right. Well, that was good. I'm glad that worked for you.
Me too.
Better to be out there.